Everyone, what's going on? So while taking a nice walk, which is what I like to do, as you can see, the streets behind me are totally empty, so I'm like the only one walking, which because it bothers me. But anyway, people in America don't like to walk. I wanted to make a video about how to create income with real estate. Now this is going to be like a no bullshit discussion. I know there are a lot of videos online talking about how to do it, but this one's gonna be real. Now, I'm not claiming to be some kind of super rich multimillionaire or anything, but I was able to create monthly income for myself with rental properties. And it's not too hard if you follow a certain strategy. Okay, now here is what the neighborhood where I'm walking looks like. Check it out. So it's got nice houses like this, and this is in Orange County, California. Now, a house like this would go for probably like $800,000 to $900,000. And the thing that bothers me is, even in this super expensive neighborhood, there's still, the people that live here are like trash. And they have like stupid dogs that bark, and they play music. Very little class in Southern California, very little. Anyway, let's talk about the topic at hand. So, in order to create rental income, you have to buy real estate, alright? Now, what kind of real estate do you need to buy? The important thing here is the proportion of price to rental income. And it's called cap rate. Now, it's a bit of an art to it, because there is a constant game between something being too cheap, because you don't want to buy something that's too cheap, because if the neighborhood is really bad, you're gonna have trouble renting it out. You're gonna have trouble with tenants, you're gonna have trouble with evictions, you're gonna have trouble with crime, and all those things. But you can't like avoid those troubles, you can only minimize them. Because the most profitable real estate in terms of rental income is lower priced real estate. Because, for example, if you buy houses like these, okay, these houses go for 8, and they're not mansions, you know, but they go for 8 to 900,000, and for rent they're not gonna rent out for more than like 25 to 3,500. I'm guessing, because I don't own any rental properties of this price. So the cap rate on them is really low. The way you measure cap rate, you usually divide. So let's say if a property is 900,000, okay, for approximately a 10% cap rate, but it's not going to be 10% because you're going to be spending some money on property taxes. You're looking at 9,000 in rent. So if you spent 900,000, and I'm talking about a cash deal, then a 9,000 per month rental would approximately be like 9% or 10% cap rate. Now, you can also measure real estate in another metric. That is the cash you spent. Let's say if you mortgaged the property, right? And if you put down $20,000, all right, and then your monthly mortgage for that property is $400, and you rent that property out for $1,000. So after you, let's say, subtract all the expenses, your net, one second. So I know, I like taking walks and doing things, and I'm always like bothering people walking by. They're like, oh, what is he doing? It's America, so people can call the cops on you for just filming things. But anyway, this is nice. street, check that. Nice street. So anyway, your monthly rent is $1,000. You know what I always think about? Why are people here in America so bothered by someone like walking down the street or filming, right? And the reason is because they have things to be afraid of. Maybe they have enemies or something, I don't know. That's probably it. Anyway, back to the discussion at hand. So your net profit is $600 a month. Meaning your net profit per year is 600 times 12, so $7,200. $7,200, right? And if you spend $20,000 as a down payment, that's pretty good return. I mean, you're almost returning like 30%, you know, right? So 72, a third would be like 6,500. So over 30% return just by mortgaging it. And if you have a $600 net profit. Now, who wouldn't like a 30% return on your investment? You will never get that in the stock market. You will never get that anywhere outside of a Ponzi scheme. So, as you can see, investing in real estate is can be, if done right, super duper profitable. How do you find the right property to invest in? My suggestion would be to find lower priced single family homes. Alright? And the cool thing about investing in real estate like this is not only does it make you money, but it also gives you like a job. And you know, considering how difficult it is to find a job right now in America, it's a pretty important point, because what you can do is you can just keep buying properties, keep buying it, investing it, and that will give you something to do, right? So I can't concentrate when there's a car behind me. You know, like, noises really bother me. I don't know why. Maybe I should just film inside. But I like it because inside is just kind of boring, and this gives you like a bit of... But anyway, so you look for houses. What kind of houses are you looking for? Obviously, the cheaper you can buy a house, the better, in somewhat of a low-price neighborhood. You know, if you're outside of Southern California, buying a house for under $100,000 is not difficult. Outside of California, not difficult at all. So look for those houses. Get them mortgaged if you can. So the first key to all of this is saving money. You don't have to be super rich to do this either. Save up like $20,000 to $25,000 and you can go. Believe you can't get an FHA on an investment property. So FHA you get like 3% down, which is super good, but usually it's a 20% down. So 20% of 100,000, hypothetically speaking, is 20,000. So don't spend money on cars, don't spend money on anything except for travel. Now, travel is super important because, as I spoke in my previous video, unfortunately living in America makes you go berserk and crazy. So you have to travel in order to not go crazy. I mean, you know, I would say if you can, move out of America, but since I've already bought what I needed to do here, so that's all in the past. So I'm talking about things I used to do, because like lately I've just been kind of trying to focus on my mental issues the last couple of years, so that's just been me. But there are people who like living here, and if they do, whatever, props to them. So look for under $100,000 properties, save up $20,000, buy them. You don't want to buy some that's, usually I go on Zillow and I search for lowest price, like low to high. Find the lowest properties. If they need repair, fine. I know how to do that. Buy them and then rent them out and keep doing it. And eventually you will have nice residual income from all your hard work. And the good thing about that is that it's a lot of work at first, but once you buy the property, repair it, rent it out, create all the photos and videos, create a video walkthrough, super important, then it becomes much easier. But sometimes, like, the market right now sucks, and I have, you know, like, things that are not rented out that I've been trying to rent out for 3 months and I can't rent them out. What can I do? People keep flaking. I don't know how many people I've had that were like, alright, we're signing the lease the next day, and then we changed our mind. And I'm like, oh, you piece of, you know, not for the fact that they changed mind, that's fine, but for the fact that they wasted my time. Because I had to show it to them, I had to email them, I had to freaking file their stupid application. All that takes my time. And then they change their mind. I don't like that. So that's basically one of the most common mistakes. Let's go there. Number one, not buying real estate. A lot of people just don't do it. So you make a mistake by not doing it. If you do decide to do it, the second most common mistake is not looking at the cap rate. So a lot of times people buy a house that's too expensive in a nice neighborhood because they like the neighborhood. You know, nobody likes to be in a poor neighborhood, right? So they go for a nice neighborhood, they purchase like a condo for like $400,000, get a huge mortgage on it, and don't realize that the rent is not going to cover the mortgage. And not only that, those people are kind of stupid to begin with, so they're not that good at renting out their property. Their property sits empty and then it's foreclosed on because they don't have enough money to pay the mortgage. Whereas a smarter person buys a house in a poorer neighborhood, and I think the more expensive a rental, the harder it is to rent it out, at least in my experience. You know, people are very, like, penny pinching, I think, even at the higher levels, so you know, property for $1,000 probably rent out easier than a property for $1,500, and so on. But there's basically no secret to it other than common sense and the fact that you have to get your hands dirty, you have to get off your ass. This is not a desk job a lot of times, and you have to do work, okay? And it's not like glamorous, you know? This is not like show business, it's not being an actor. It's actually going to real estate, and not as an agent, blah blah blah. Actually, like, you're gonna have to do all the work of an agent, work of a repairman, work of a property manager. You're gonna have to do all that by yourself. It's worth it. It's worth it if done right. Alright, cool. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time.